Premium ale or lager?
Premium ale.
Which one first?
Premium
ale first? All right.
Yeah. I broke. See, last week we set rules on drinking, and I totally broke those this week. Yeah.
You're going to get reprimanded.
No, and I deserve it. I deserve it because I went out of my way to set these rules, cans less than $10, and I don't have any cans, and I had to mix a drink using my Kraken rum. So.
Oh, well.
I blame work. It's not like I did it on purpose. Like I had to go up to the thing today, and I didn't leave. I didn't get home till like after 8 o'clock. I wasn't going to stop at a package store. It was like an alcoholic, like a degenerate.
Like me.
Yeah. So I'm going to go. Is that a Foster's?
Yes. Foster's.
Australian for beer. Hello, Ray. Are you drinking a Foster's?
Oi, put another shrimp on the barbie.
I haven't heard from Maddie in a while. I hope that doesn't piss him off.
Oh, dude. No, the best part. So, like I said, my boss is Australian. So he's like, okay, first of all, they're not shrimp. They're prawns. Second of all, we never put them on the barbie. He's like, and what the fuck is Foster's? It's like, yeah, okay.
I've heard that.
I know.
I've heard they hate Foster's. Mm-hmm. Hey, Maddie, when you hear this, because I'm going to leave this in for the pre-show, go ahead and tell us what kind of beer you drink down there. It's probably Heineken. They probably drink Heineken in Australia. I don't have my good, strong voice tonight, Ray. I feel like it's going out on me.
I think I asked him at one point, but it was such a nondescript beer.
Yeah.
We're so common that I was like, whatever. It doesn't make a difference to me.
Hey, Maddie, what kind of beer do you guys drink in Australia? He'd be like, oh, meth. Hey, everybody. Welcome to episode 61 of The Rich Dickman Show, the podcast that is slightly better than mediocre. I am your host. I am Rem. I'm here with you again 61 times. Like, that's a lot. Like, we're entering torn think tank territory now. Boy, that's an old show. Anyways, I'm here with somebody who's better than anybody I've ever had besides Huel. I'm a man. His name is Ray. He's in California. Ray, how are you?
Hey, what's up? It's such a happy day.
Oh, fucking asshole.
Coming in hot.
It's better than last week. I'm listening to last week's episode. You were fucking depressing me last week, man, until you got drunk.
Oh man. I'm sorry. Well, we're going to be super upbeat today.
Well, you better be, because you only have 2 episodes left after this one.
Is that my shtick? Super upbeat?
Yeah, well, hey, you got to find something, right? Because I haven't had a conversation with Mr. Dickman yet, and I don't know if you have. And if you have, Tell me. Okay, so time to put on a show, brother. Time to put on a show.
He's hard to get a hold of.
He can be. Yeah, he really can be. And he's a very important man. So, all right, let's get on with it here, Ray. It's episode 61. We've done this over a year now. I've done this. God damn it. Wow. All right. I'm trying here. So let's do business real quick. RichDickman.com for all your Rich Dickman needs. Go to RichDickman.com. Soon, Ray will be getting a hold of that and doing some cool shit to it. So that's going to be awesome. Yep. You can find us on YouTube now. All right. Because all our episodes get uploaded to YouTube, starting with the last couple. So go to YouTube.com, search Rich Dickman, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. All right. Go to Amazon.com. And search Rich Dickman, and you will find an assortment of T-shirts. It says slightly better than mediocre. It says El Abogado, attorney at law, in memoriam of Wow Huelhauser. And as I said last week, it's election season. And if you want to get out there and integrate into the masses of the rebels, Eat the Rich is a T-shirt. So go ahead, get one. And show your support for eating the rich people. Take their money. I don't know. They're going to pay for your student loans anyways, I guess. So there you go, Ray.
Yeah. Seems like a foolproof plan. Speaking of the El Abogado shirt, I wore that to I was at my kid's birthday party, or my kids went to a birthday party over the weekend last Saturday.
Yeah.
And I wore my El Abogado shirt, and somebody even said out loud, they read it. They were like, El Abogado, attorney at law. They're like, oh, interesting. I was like, yep, you can get them on Amazon.
Nice.
And
I hope you sold it.
I don't know if they bought one.
We'll find out.
Oh, yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I was modeling it, so obviously people were like, whoa, it's sweet, man.
You know,
sweet shirt.
You say that as a joke, but you should totally model one of those shirts on our website, richdickman.com, and have a link to the shirt on Amazon after you click your picture.
Heck yeah, man. Well, yeah, I could do that. I could take a picture of me wearing a shirt. It doesn't seem too complicated.
Okay. Like, I'm not kidding, Ray. Like, you got to start contributing to the show. I mean, you're turning into Hulhauser here. I mean, throwing a couple notes in every once in a while and doing a few bumpers.
I mean, I put in 90 minutes a week. That's a commitment.
Yeah. I'm going to New York this weekend for wrestling, and I'll be wearing my own El Avogado t-shirt. Actually, being in New York, I probably should get myself an Eat the Rich t-shirt and wear that one, huh? Because it's a bastion of liberalness and Antifa.
Yeah, you got to play to the crowd.
I wonder how many of those Joma owns.
Oh, yeah, that's probably his whole wardrobe.
Yeah. Like El Avogado.
He was like, what?
Yeah.
It got made?
And Eat the Rich.
He's like, yeah, how many can I order right now?
Yeah, right. All right, well, you're right. So time to bring the show down a little bit. I know, Ray. These things happen, and so bear with me. It's going to take me a few minutes here to get my thoughts out, and I'm going to do the best I can with it. I have such a weird relationship with death. Either I'm too emotional or not emotional enough, I find it. And I never know what the proper type of emotion to be. And people will say, you do whatever you feel is right for you. And okay, I don't know what's right for me or what's not. But so we're going to try. And if at any point I start going off the rails, Ray, I need you to reel me back in. Okay.
Well, let me say this. When you're genuine, people can tell, right? Yeah. So hopefully people understand that. Okay. And the other thing is, this kind of gets thrown out every once in a while is, don't make somebody's death or whatever it is a sad moment, make it a celebration.
Okay.
So
let's celebrate. All right. Let's celebrate. That's a odd word to use now, but okay. Well, over the weekend, we lost a friend of the show, host of the Not for Human Consumption podcast, Allan Foster. He passed away this weekend. And that really sucks. It really sucks. And my God, I'm so sorry for his family and his friends and his co-hosts. And I'm probably going to repeat myself a million times, but God damn it, I wish I could reach out through the internet and grab onto Matt and Dylan and Dave and give them a big hug and let them know I'm there for them. And I wish there was words I could say to make everything better. And I know there isn't, but we can try. Allan, what strikes me about Allan, why I liked Allan so much, is that his story of getting into podcasting is very similar to mine. I listened to a podcast. I thought it was cool. I was a fan of the shows I was listening to, and I roped my friends into doing it with me. In my case, Jules was actually listening to the shows that I listened to. Fit wasn't. Fit had no idea what it was, and Fit learned everything about podcasting to teach us. Allan was fairly similar. Allan was a fan of the Maddox I don't know if you know Maddox. Maddox was an online personality. He's kind of a piece of trash now. But he and I were both fans of Maddox, of his writing. And then Maddox started a podcast with Dick Masterson called The Best Podcast in the Universe. And we were both fans of that. I love that show. They broke up. Maddox became an asshole and Dick Masterson started The Dick Show. And The Dick Show has been the top of my podcast list ever since it started back in, I think it was May 2016. And he loved that podcast, and he loved Dick, and he loved, up until Maddox became an asshole, he loved Maddox too. And at one point, Allan decided, you know what? I want to do a podcast, and I'm going to get my friends to do it with me. And that's what happened. As Dylan would tell me, they would do, the podcast after their band practice. And it was just a bunch of dudes hanging around, having a couple of drinks and talking shit. And Not for Human Consumption is what Liquor Fueled should have been, before I ruined it by adding extra people. Liquor Fueled should have been Fit, Huel, and myself having drinks, talking shit. And that's should have been the show. I never should have added any more people. I never should have tried to be anything that it wasn't. It should have just been us hanging around talking shit. And that's what Allan, Matt, Dylan, and Dave were able to do. Are able to do is that they sat there all in Allan's basement. They gathered around, they had a few drinks, and they talked shit for 2 hours, and it was great. And it was so much fun to listen to. And, a few weeks ago, well, let me start here. So no, I'll do this one first. A few weeks ago, back in, this was in May, the Not for Human Consumption podcast had moved right to the top of my podcast list. I'd been going into work a lot earlier, so listening to the Dick Show first thing on a Tuesday morning, 6 a.m. driving to work, and listening. And I love Dick, but listening to him, scream and rage about things, I couldn't handle it that early in the morning. But I totally could listen to four dudes hanging out, having a few drinks, and talking shit to each other. So I wrote to Allan on May 29th, and I said, my dude, I just want to let you know that I think you guys do a really good job. And to be quite honest, I'm starting to enjoy NFHC more than Dick. Too much yelling and interrupting, whereas you guys are just talking shit, drinking, and having fun. Good stuff. Keep it up. And he wrote back to me, how dare you be kind? And I said, yeah, I know. I felt like being an asshole, and this is how I express myself. Allan was a genuine good person. He was genuinely good at podcasting in a world where most of your podcasts are shitty and people get on the microphone like, hey guys, I saw Spider-Man last weekend and it wasn't good. And I think we should all write to the director and tell him that, like that's a version of a podcast, or it's just a bunch of dudes just laughing at each other and nothing's happening. Just laughing about nothing. And it's stupid. Allan had an amazing voice for podcasting, figuratively and literally. He sounded amazing on the microphone, and he hosted a goddamn good show. Even when it got off the rails, he kept it together, and he was just so good at this. And when he had guests on, he was great with the guests. And when he was guesting on other shows, he was fantastic at being a guest on other shows. And it just brightened the room and just made things so much more alive. How we got to know Allan and Dylan and Matt and Dave, I listened to the Dick Show, and they had, there's a whole community surrounding the Dick Show. They have their See You Next Tuesday network where there are a couple shows a part of, and they help promote each other, and they're all fun. But I hadn't listened to any of the shows because I just didn't have the time to add any more shows in my schedule. But I knew that they had voicemails. So go back to episode 27 when I had Huel call several voicemails of these shows and leave messages for him. And, some people might think, oh, Rem, that's an asshole move. And I thought it was funny. They never had to play any of the voicemails. They could have just ignored them because we did the voicemail simply to plug our show to maybe boost our listenership or get to know somebody. But Allan and Matt plays the voicemails as they come in. They don't listen to them first. So if he has a list of voicemails, he's just playing them one by one, and ours popped up, and they realized, oh my God, these guys are plugging their shows. And then Allan checked out our show, and the next week they talked about it again. And Allan said, I listened to their show, and I got to say, it wasn't good. So we had a little Twitter quote unquote beef for like a week or two. And I invited him on to our show. So it was episode 29 titled Best Friends when we started the show with Allan and Huel, Allan, and I we talked shit for half an hour, 35 minutes, whatever it was. And it was just so natural. We talked about them buying our website and how I was unreasonably upset at it and I shouldn't have been. And you can go back and listen to it. And it was just good and it was fun. And Allan was just a cool dude. He just, he could have been a total dick, right? He could have been a total dick about it and say, yeah, these fucking guys left a voicemail, plug their show. Fuck them. But no, he embraced it and he went with it. And it's just, he was just super nice. He was super nice about it. Just super, super cool about it and came on and was very gracious about it all. And even though I have 1,800 followers and all their accounts combined probably don't equal mine, Ray. All my followers have me muted and all theirs are super interactive with them. And they have a wonderful community over there. They had Huel on a few weeks after we had Allan on. And I know they did not expect what they got from Huel on that episode. I think you heard it. I heard it.
Yeah. He came in like a wrecking ball.
Yeah.
Is that how the song goes?
Exactly like that. Huel didn't know what time he'd be on, so he was just drinking and he got way too drunk and he blew their minds. And he was the amazing Huel. Yeah. He was the Huel you knew and loved from Liquor Fueled. And when Allan said to Huel, all right, Huel, why don't you tell us how we find your show and what you talk about? Hey, Huel's, I don't know. I have no idea. Huel couldn't plug the show, so Allan did it for him. Allan plugged our show. He plugged our website, the one that works, richdickman.com. richdickmanshow.com takes you to NFHC. And he plugged our show. I think he even plugged our voicemail as well. I mean, Allan was such a pro about it. And then they had, how do we do it? So then we went a few weeks, several weeks, I started listening to their show a lot more and started to enjoy it. And then they had me on, I think it was episode 75 that I was on. And I don't know, for whatever reason, it was the weekend that we released Huel's last episode. So we released Huel's last episode on 4/20. So whatever NFHC episode coincides with that is the one I was on. I think it was 75. They had me on. I didn't know what to expect. We didn't really talk about anything. Allan got me ready with the Discord because I hadn't recorded in Discord before. And we just chatted, we just talked like dudes. We're talking shit and having fun. And one thing just stuck out and just stayed with me from that. It's just how nice they all were to me, especially Allan, because they didn't have to, because we were the assholes who invaded their space, and they could have been dicks to me. They could have never had me on the show, and they could have just made fun of me, but we had a nice conversation. I got to throw off some jokes. They got some in and plug the show, and it was great. And, now let's go down the road a little bit. I started leaving voicemails at the end of their show. I called in a couple times to complain about, waiting too long at McDonald's, or something else I called in about, Dylan in the Our Planet show, watching the walruses. How dare he make me watch, things like that. And so the thing with me is that I feel like sometimes I get a little too familiar, so I was like, oh man, I should back off. I shouldn't get too involved. This is their show. I don't need to be putting all my shit into their voicemail. This is their stuff. I back off. But, we eventually had Dylan on, and you were here for that. And we had Matt on the next week. So we went 2 weeks in a row having Dylan and Matt on, and they were great to have on. I love both of them. They're great. And I remember listening to the episode after Matt was on, and Allan said something like, oh, we're getting a little familiar with the Rich Dickman show, or something to that effect. And I don't know that he meant anything by it, but then I felt really self-conscious all of a sudden, thinking, oh man, maybe I'm getting a little too handsy and cozy with these guys and leaving voicemails and stuff. So I wanted to have Allan on again. I really wanted to get him back on the show and chat with him because I love talking to the guy. And, I told myself, you know what, Rem, back off. Just back off. Let them do their own thing. You don't need to be forcing yourself down their throats. And maybe I wasn't. Maybe they don't think I was, but I felt that I was. So I was planning on inviting Allan, in the next couple of weeks to come on and shoot the shit. And never got the chance. And that kind of sucks. But I mean, there's not enough words. There are no words to make any of it okay. There's not enough words to describe how cool of a dude he was. I don't know that I knew him well, but I knew him enough to know that, he really loved podcasting. He really loved his buddies over there and shooting the shit with them. And he loved even just chatting and helping out. I remember asking the guy what they used for their recording. I was super curious about their setup, and he explained it all to me and gave me links to different software they use. I never took any of his advice though, because a lot of it would cost me money, and I'm notoriously cheap. But that showed me just, what a really, really cool dude he was about things like that. Like, he really loved the people in the community. And it sucks, man. It just sucks so much that we have to be talking about this, that we have to say Allan's gone, and that we won't hear him on NFHC or anything again. And I know that weird emptiness that I feel being thousands of miles away in Connecticut and never talking to a dude outside of on Twitter or on a podcast, I can't even begin to imagine what Dylan, Matt, Dave and his family and other friends are going through. Just a sudden loss and so young and so much potential. It's like, oh God. When I saw the news on Twitter, it was Monday night when I saw it. I was watching wrestling as I am known to do on Monday nights. I watch wrestling, and I'm browsing through Twitter, and I see, you remember the guy who called in our voicemail is Dickman?
Yeah.
He's me, Dickman. Have him come on the Dickman show, right? That guy. Well, that guy. Yeah. Yeah. His name is, his online name is Spaghetti. And I saw Spaghetti get retweeted about, I didn't know Allan very well, but I heard of his passing, and I'm really sorry to hear that. And I'm like, oh, this has got to be a joke, because the last episode they released, they joked about Dylan quitting the show. you know? And so I'm like, wow, this is kind of a dark joke, but okay, that's their sense of humor. And then I saw, Grant from Thought Cops tweet something about Allan's passing. And I'm like, wait a second. So I replied, I was like, holy shit, is this for real? And then that's when all the tweets and the confirmations came in. It's like, yeah, I'm sorry to tell you. And and then Dylan direct messaged me and said, hey, you know, I hate to break the news, but Allan passed away yesterday. And it's like, whoa, what the fuck, man? That's just, God, there's no words for it. I don't think. I'm making up words, but none of them accurately describe anything. You know, it's
it's always too soon.
Yeah.
It's always too early.
It's always, it's you never have enough time. We have all the time in the world until we don't anymore. Man, you know, you got people in your life. You got people in your life who you love to have there. Don't take them for granted, because you never know how long you're going to have them. It could be 50 years. It could be 5 minutes. You know, you just never know. And it's one thing. It's like, my wife and I sometimes get, you know, as couples argue, as they do. I watched, oh God, I'm going to get personal here. I watched my parents argue a little too much when I was a child. So arguing is something I don't like doing. When it does happen, I feel real shitty about it, because you never want that to be like the last memory you have of somebody, you know, and I try not to hold on to anger. And when I say I try, I'm not very good at it, but I try, because I held on to anger with Jules and all them for way too long. And, you know, my brief mentions of it now, I don't think I'm angry anymore. I don't think I'm anything anymore. But you know, holding on to that anger does no good, because you don't know. You don't know what the last words will ever be to someone like that. You know, you should always go to bed saying "I love you" to that person in your life that you love, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say "I love you" to my wife every time we hang up the phone, or, you know, part one another. So it will be the last thing that she ever hears me say will be "I love you." Or maybe bye. But it would have been an "I love you" followed by a bye.
So I love you 3000.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. And I just, you know, to Dylan, Matt, Dave, you know, if any of you guys listen to this, if any of Allan's fans who might listen to this week, maybe you're fans of this show, I don't know. I've got 7 listeners, so probably not many of you.
5 of them are me.
Yeah. God, keep those happy memories of Allan in your heart and your head forever. You know, we're in a time, we're in an age now where our words can literally last forever. You think about it, Ray. I've got 61 episodes of the Rich Dickman Show with me talking. I've got 114 episodes of Torn Think Tank, out there. Thankfully all the liquor fueled episodes are gone. But
are they?
You know, we can kind of live forever that way. And I guess my dream always was, or my fantasy was, that if I were to pass at some point, and that somebody would be able to take all the words I ever said in any of these podcasts and like turn them into something where people could still have a conversation with me, some weird AI program where they can just put it into, you know, I don't know, into a hard drive and say, hey, I'm going to talk to Rem today. And Rem be like, hey, Ray.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Like a really crappy Siri.
Yeah.
With limited vocabulary.
Right. And just, you know, the inappropriate response is like, hey, you know, Rem, I was thinking about the weather today. Connecticut weather sucks. Whatever bullshit I said last week. But, you know, we can, you know, you can live forever. Just you live forever in the memories and the happy thoughts and the podcasts that the people you love did. And hold on to that and cherish it. And those good times, they never have to go away. Oh man. Like I want to keep going, but everything at this point, everything is just going to be weird and sound selfish. And that's like the last thing I want to do is sound selfish about something like this, because, you know, this is where I get that weird relationship with death. Like this isn't my loss. This is the loss of Dylan, Matt, and Dave and Allan's family and friends. It's their loss. It's not mine. I'm just a person out in the distance who knew the guy through a podcast and a few conversations through direct messages. But that's how big of a part he played in people's lives, where you felt like you knew him and you felt like a part of him. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say there. It's, it sucks, man. It's so
the power of the podcast, man.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those things, like, when you're doing whatever you're doing, listen to a podcast, like, it really does permeate your life.
Yep.
And it does have a huge effect, regardless of how you're literally just listening to somebody talk, essentially, right?
Yeah.
There's not that much to it. It's quite simple, but what you're doing and, just, I don't know if you ever have this where you start doing something and, like, there's certain games that I'll play, right? I launch the game and immediately a soundtrack of whatever album that I listened to a ton of times while playing that game will just pop into my head. Same thing. Like, I go certain places, where I'm, working in a certain area, and all of a sudden, in that area, I'd listen to the same podcast a bunch of times. All of a sudden it kind of, pops into your head. So, I mean, it really does affect a lot of things that you do where, it lasts.
Yeah.
So, it really does matter, as simple as it is, which is a pretty cool thing.
When Fit and I were talking about, I think it might have been Liquor Fueled, and we were talking about how to make it successful. And yeah, it's funny listening to Fit, Huel and I drink. And this is before I ruined the show. And I said to him, and because this is my experience, that it needed to become a habit. Podcasts have to become a habit for them to be successful. You have to have the same people downloading them every week and then sharing them with their friends. And you don't do that by having a shitty podcast either. You want people to get attached to it, that they want to make it that habit. So they knew every Tuesday, Not for Human Consumption gets downloaded into my phone. Every Saturday at midnight, the Rich Dickman Show comes into my whatever podcast app I'm using. Every Saturday night, Torn Think Tank comes out. I can't wait to listen to it on Monday. When I was on the road, Ray, I had a schedule of podcasts every single week. I knew on Monday I'd be listening to, I don't even remember now. Probably a Rob Cesternino podcast. On Tuesday, the best podcast in the universe would come out, right? Or the Dick Show at that point. On Wednesday, we'd have a Survivor preview podcast or some other Doctor Who podcast, right? And then Thursday would be the Survivor recap show, and then Friday would be Survivor. I had the Adam Carolla show every single day. I would listen to Adam Carolla after my lunch break, because I knew I had 2 hours left, and the Adam Carolla show was 2 hours just about every day. And it would time me just to the end of my day. I had these habits, my podcast. And then if it disappears, you feel empty because you don't, It's like you quit smoking, or whatever bad habit or good habit you might have, it's not there anymore. All right, before I ramble too much, I just want to wrap up my thoughts here. We lost Allan too soon. I think he had a ton more to give. And as I said, he sounded great in the mic, and he was great in the mic, and he was just really good at podcasting. And I know just by talking to him how much he loved doing it. And I know just by watching the interaction with the community, how much he loved them. And Allan, you're going to be missed sorely. And Dylan, Matt, and Dave, I love you guys. I reached out to a couple. If you need anything, you know how to get me. I don't know what I can give to help, right? But whatever it is, I can try. Even if it's just somebody to, make a few jokes with, whatever it is, I'm here for you. What you do with the podcast going forward is completely up to you. And I know myself and the rest of us who listen will support whatever decision you make. You got to do what's best for you guys. And I can't tell you one way or the other what to do. It's got to be up to you, but whatever it is, I'm behind you 100%. If the show doesn't go on, I want you guys to know Not for Human Consumption became my favorite podcast over the past couple months. You guys did a great show. You were everything I ever wanted my old drinking show to be, and it was a lot better. Because he kept it together, and he didn't have some asshole ruining it by trying to just get bigger and bigger without letting the thing grow naturally, like me. And I appreciate you guys having me on and promoting the show with Huel and myself, and coming on the show and shooting the shit with us and just being super cool. I really appreciate that from you guys. And whatever you do, I support you, and I love you all. And I wish I could make it all better, and I know I can't. But I'm there for you, whatever it is.
All right. Well said.
Thanks. All right. That's it. Fuck. Alan, one more thing. Boners. Okay.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's do a show.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like that time that I was making a joke and touring a think tank, and then Jules had me read a letter about some guy's dog dying or some shit.
Well, that's what. So I obviously didn't know Alan, so it's kind of one of those where it's, I don't. For me to try and speak upon it in the whole situation is really, I don't want to say disingenuous, but like, I mean, it's not like he and I were best buds. So for me to really get into it, you know, I don't know. I don't really have anything to even share. So, but it just in general, I mean, just, you know, loss sucks. Yeah. It sucks. So,
all right. I'm going to play this clip from, I'm going to play this clip, and this will make us feel better as we transition.
Nice.
I haven't previewed any of these, so I hope this works.
Ooh, I'm probably a long-distance dedication. And this one is about kids and pets and a situation that we can all understand, whether we have kids or pets or neither. It's from a man in Cincinnati, Ohio. And here's what he writes. Dear Casey, this may seem to be a strange dedication request, but I'm quite sincere, and it'll mean a lot if you play it. Recently, there was a death in our family. He was a little dog named Snuggles, but he was most certainly a part of... Let's start again. From coming out of the record. Play the record, okay? Please. See, when you come out of those up-tempo goddamn numbers, man, it's impossible to make those transitions. And then you got to go into somebody dying. You know, they do this to me all the time. I don't know what the hell they do it for, but goddamn it, if we can't come out of a slow record, I don't understand it. Is Don on the phone? Okay, I want a goddamn concerted effort to come out of a record that isn't a fucking up-tempo record every time I do a goddamn death dedication. Now, make it, and I also want to know what happened to the pictures I was supposed to see this week. This is last goddamn time. I want somebody to use his fucking brain to not come out of a goddamn record that is that's up-tempo, and I got to talk about a fucking dog dying.
It's so funny. It's so true because, yeah. That's just hilarious.
All right.
But that was probably from one of the NFHC guys, right?
What?
Was that from one of the NFHC guys?
No, that's Casey Kasem.
Oh, see, I don't even know these things.
That's Casey Kasem doing America's Top 40. And they're playing like the song was like a really up-tempo song from this is back in the 80s. I don't know what the song is. And then out of the up-tempo song, he had to read a dedication about somebody's dog dying, and he's pissed off because he couldn't make that transition. And this happened to me. Chris O.C. pointed this out too, because Chris O.C. thinks that's hilarious. But I was making jokes on Torn Think Tank one time, and then Jules had me read an email that was literally about somebody dying. And I was like, whoa, how the fuck am I supposed to do this now? I just made 3 goddamn jokes in a row about my balls or some shit, whatever it was. And then I got to read a letter about some dude's mom dying and how he's depressed and he can't play WoW anymore, and tell him and like give him advice. Like, are you fucking kidding me, Jules, right now? We can't do that. Don't never do that to me again. Like after the show and we stopped the stream, I said, hey, Jules, listen, if there is some letter like that again, either put it in a different part of the show or the last email we read, or you read it, especially if I'm making jokes, because my job's here to be funny, not to offer sympathy, because I'm very bad at that. I'm very, very bad at that, especially to people I don't know. All right, Ray, I got to talk about something here. I gotta change the beat here.
Well,
oh, go ahead.
What I meant was that sent in by one of the NFHC guys?
No, I just pulled it on YouTube. I was thinking of it just now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. Sorry, I thought that was like something that maybe they sent in, because I was looking at on the notes and seeing voicemails and.
Oh no, anyway. I actually have a voicemail.
That's what I was confused because of that.
Mm-mm. See, Ray.
Okay.
I'm a goddamn professional. I'm really good at this. And when I get a thought in my head, I just keep going, man. I'm all improv, baby. I'm all improv. I don't have any notes. You did all the notes tonight. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to rip roaring. I've been drinking this rum. I gotta do it. Yeah. I got to get this shit out. I got to do it. And I just thought of that.
Do it now.
I have to complain about something. I don't know if you've seen the commercials out there, Ray, and I don't know if you know this about me. Listen, I'll admit it. I'm a big fan of McDonald's. Okay. And I'm not ashamed to admit it either. You can take your judgment and you can piss off. I'm a big fan of McDonald's. Not that I go there every day to eat. Okay. But I enjoy trying new things when they offer them. And I'm always disappointed. I won't lie. When I went to Italy back in 2017, I told my mom and dad, because I went with them, I said, I don't care what we do. I'm here for the trip. We're here for 9 days. I'm going to have a good time no matter what. But there's one thing that I request and I demand is that we go to a McDonald's here in Italy. And my mom's like, and my mom and dad are like, why? Why would you want to go to McDonald's? We're in freaking Italy. Why would you want to go to McDonald's? And I was like, because McDonald's is different everywhere in the world. And I want to see what's unique on their menu here in Italy. And I want to try their French fries and see if they're the same as they are in the United States. Okay. So we went to the McDonald's in Italy, all right? And I was blown away, Ray. It was in a mall, and they had the whole setup like your normal McDonald's. It looked like you were in America, except everything was in Italian. And then off to the side, you know how they have McCafe, the coffee and stuff and all that? All right. They actually had like a whole goddamn bakery in their McCafe, like with pastries and Nutella shit and like all this stuff with their coffee. And I was like, whoa, that's fucking cool. I wish I had $1,000 to spend here and be like a Mikey Chen and start trying everything. They had a burger and a chicken sandwich, that I'd never seen before. It was the Grand McChicken or something, or Grand El Polo or whatever the fuck they call it. I don't remember. It was two chicken patties and cheese and their special sauce. And I got that. I got their French fries and I got a Nutella burger. Okay. And so you real quick, the Nutella burger is just a pastry, right? So it's just like kind of like a Nutella sandwich, and it was fine. It was good. But I got the Grand McChicken or Grand Polo Loco or whatever the hell. I can't remember. I got pictures of it. And if you were to update the website, I would send you the pictures so you can put it on the website. It was amazing, Ray. It was amazing. Like I'd never had such a good sandwich at McDonald's before. It was fucking awesome. I was like, oh shit, this is everything McDonald's could be. Because for whatever reason, it tasted better out there. Different meats, different dairy products. I don't know. Probably, yes. Different regulations on food. Whatever. It was great. It was fantastic. The fries did taste the same, by the way. All right. So
that's not surprising. Come
back here to America, and McDonald's has decided to release 4 items off the quote unquote international menu. Okay. They have a tomato mozzarella chicken burger thing from Canada. They have a Spanish burger. I can't remember what it's called, but it's from Spain. It's a burger with Gouda cheese and bacon and this sauce. And then they have these French fries with cheese and bacon on them, which they released a couple months ago, but they say it's from Australia, so that's kind of a cop out. And then they have a Stroopwafel McFlurry from the Netherlands. And a few weeks ago, we got the Stroopwafel McFlurry, and it was good. That's a good dessert. I stopped in McDonald's earlier this week to get that Spanish burger with the cheese, the Gouda cheese and the bacon and the special sauce, right? And I'm all excited. Because here I'm trying something new at McDonald's. Like this is what I live for. I love this stuff, right?
Oh my God.
Ray, they may have an international menu, but it's the same goddamn American McDonald's. It fucking comes in the box. It's all the patty's off to one side of the bun and the bacon's falling off and the sauce is all over the place. So it's a mess, right? And then you bite into it and it's fine, but it's a McDonald's cheeseburger. The patty tastes like McDonald's. Like it's like, this tastes like a quarter pounder with cheese and sauce and bacon. Like there's nothing different about this. This isn't what they serve in Spain. Because in Spain, everything's different. Like all the ingredients, they're in Spain already. So they're made, all the regulations for food are a little different. So they're made better. And the meat tastes different because they're different cows. I can't explain it. It's just different. It was an American burger with an international box on it. And I was severely disappointed, Ray.
Well, what's funny is you started out by saying that you like McDonald's, and now you literally are like, it was just the regular old McDonald's and I don't like it.
It had everything wrong with it.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah. And I just spent 20 minutes.
It's not different.
McDonald's. Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's the thing. Right. You were expecting it to be different. I get it. But it's just funny, like when you look at it from that perspective. But hey, don't they have, is it in New York? Don't they have an international McDonald's or something like that?
Well, I don't know. That's a good question.
I think they do.
And if they do,
there's one that serves stuff from the international menu.
I'm gonna have
obviously it's not everything from every country, but it's like a good selection.
I'll get with Chris O.C. and I'll ask him and I'll check it out. But the problem is, it's here in America. That's the whole problem. If you go to Japanese McDonald's, they have like a shrimp burger, and they have like there's this guy on YouTube. His name is Mikey Chen. All right. And I love watching Mikey Chen. His channel is called Strictly Dumpling, and he tries food from everywhere. It's mostly focused on Asian food, but he'll go to McDonald's in different parts of the world that he visits and try their exclusive items. And like, I want to try these things. I want to go to Korea and try the hot, spicy, shrimp burger that they have over there. You know, I want to do all that stuff. And I was hoping, and I knew I should have known better, but I was hoping it would be, you know, I'd have a similar experience, but nope.
Well, look at so I would think that you have to get something that's completely different, like the McCurry pan. Yeah. It was from India. Yep. Or the McNuren burger, which has the 3 bratwursts in it. Or like, what else do they have here? Pineapple Oreo McFlurry. Right. That, you know, I'm sure you can't, I don't know, bubblegum squash McFlurry.
But it sounds fine, but you know, Johnny McJackass from Cleveland, Ohio is the one making it. So it's the same bullshit that you eat. You know,
but what I'm saying is if you try something like the McCurry pan, it's going to taste at least enough different. It's not going to taste like a burger.
Right. Okay. I get what you're saying.
You know what I mean? Like, it's so different that there's no way that you're completely it doesn't taste like anything else you've had from McDonald's. That's the only way you can really escape that conundrum.
If, you know, McDonald's is going to make their money no matter what. All right. They can have the shittiest service and the shittiest appearance of their food, and there's still going to be people going because it's so universally known. Okay. But if I were to be a McDonald's franchisee, I would demand absolute perfection out of every single piece of food that leaves that kitchen, because that would get people coming back. Could you imagine going to McDonald's and like having a fucking world-class experience with your fast food burger? Whew. Game changer.
Dude, don't even get me started on fast food and making it good. Oh my God. Dude, In-N-Out is literally like everything fast food should be. Okay.
No, Chick-fil-A is. Chick-fil-A is everything fast food should be.
No, check this out. So, you know what's like the worst, the most annoying place to go for fast food? Panda Express. Why? Because it takes at least 5 minutes per car in the drive-thru. And the food's already ready. It's already made. All you gotta do is scoop it in the fucking little to-go box. That's literally all you gotta do. So why does it take so, I don't understand why it takes so long. So we literally drive by, cause there's one like in the shopping center pretty close to where we go all the time. So we go in there and every time we're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars. So it'd be a half an hour to get food in the drive-thru. Oh. You know, like every time you can do the math.
Whoa. Wait, is this Panda Express?
Yes.
They have a drive-thru?
Dude, we have them like every single one around here has one.
Panda Express out here is like in a mall. You have to go to a mall's food court to get Panda Express.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, we have them. Drive-thrus. Oh. Anyway, they're slow as hell. Even just going through the line, it's really fucking slow. And it doesn't make any sense because all you have to do is, you know, it's kind of broken into sections, right? There's like, you know, six
it's a buffet.
Items in here, 6 items there. Yeah. So just put one person at each station where they have like 3 to 6 little things they scoop from. And you'll crank people out of that place so fast. But apparently they don't have any idea. Okay. This is what at In-N-Out, you do this all the time, right? You're like, okay. So you pay your guy, well now it's more, but it used to be like $10 an hour, right? Well, you sell like 2 meals, you paid for that guy's labor. So don't try, you know, I get it's not that simple. There's overhead and there's other things. But I mean, you just sell like a couple meals and you paid for that guy being there. Yeah. You don't have to fucking sell 300 meals to pay for the one guy being there. So when you can move the line 10 times faster because it's not one person doing all the order taking and the scoop. Like, you sell so much more. The labor's actually relatively cheap.
And the line will turn people away. Like, I've driven past Chick-fil-A when their line goes out to the street. Yeah. So, all right.
Yep. Even though you know they're pretty fast. Yeah. Oh my God. Fast food.
Chick-fil-A isn't fast because they're making a lot of this stuff to order, right? But it's delicious. So I'm willing to wait to a point.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Well, last time I got Chick-fil-A, I had to drive for like 12 hours straight to get it.
That's your fault.
That's an exaggeration, but
I can't wait for you to come out to Connecticut, Ray, and I can take you around. To the places out here.
There's a bunch of new developments at work. I'll tell you about them later.
All right. Let's do
it might have happened at some point.
Let's do I love my blank butt. All right, tell me about it.
I love big butts, and I cannot lie. But I don't want them that big. Not too big. I mean, there's a point where it's too much. Let me just say that.
What's funny, and the reason I brought this one up is what's funny is that I had to do a little extra for work today. I had to go to a different building. I had to go to a different plant, and I had to go stand around. And I noticed this woman with normal, normal shape, normal size, right? She wasn't anything, she wasn't overweight or anything. But on the backside, there was an ass that was abnormally large, right?
But donk.
Yeah. To the point where it looked uncomfortable, right? And I don't know how they size jeans for asses like this, because the legs are normal size, but then the hips and ass are like double the size. So I'm texting Chris O.C. about it because I'm bored. So I'm going to text my buddy. He's on vacation, so he's awake. And I'm like, Chris O.C., I don't know how this works. I don't know how this happens. So I totally get what you're saying. Now, I disagree, however, because I don't think you can get too big on the backside.
You can.
I don't know. I don't think you can. Maybe you can, but I don't think so.
If they're in any decent amount of shape, then no, you can't. But I'm talking like there's some people that just let themselves go.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
It's not good. Now,
I have been known to like, you're not your typical body type. not what the modern world thinks as, beautiful. Even though we're all the same, we still have standards, right? That the media puts out there, even though we're all the same. Yeah. All of a sudden.
Hey, you have to accept them. That's the profession they've chosen, and you need to accept it.
Right.
And support it.
Yeah. And at the same time, oh my God, look how much weight Chris Pratt has gained. But anyways, so there is a point where you lose the ass. Okay. But it's, for me, that point is pretty far down the road because I like a big ass. I'm not gonna lie. So, I love big butts, and I cannot lie, but, when the butt like stops becoming a butt and just becomes part of you, like if it's all just like one big square, that's not for me.
It's not a butt anymore. It's a cube.
I wonder if ladies like large asses on men. Like, what do you think? Like,
you know what I think it is they like what was that movie? Anyway, what's that wrestler's name that's ripped? And he's,
there's a lot of them.
Wears the shorts. He wears the jean shorts.
Oh, John Cena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What was that movie? He was in a movie where he was like having sex with some lady. He's like laying on top of her. I think they like his butt.
The Amy Schumer
like that's
movie.
like their ideal butt.
Yeah. Like women are weird, right? Because some women like are just into muscular guys, but then some women like nerdy looking skinny guys with no muscles like us. Well, I mean, like you. I have plenty of muscles and an enormous penis.
I thought I read there was some stat I came across that said like the majority of women these days like a dad bod. I don't know if that's
good.
True.
I'm in luck. Thank God.
Oh yeah. I told my wife immediately. I was like, oh, I'm not going to the gym ever again.
Hey Ray, what would if you were to become single, right? Don't think of don't think of the hows and why, okay? But you became single and had no responsibilities anymore. Like, what do you do? Like, do you just hole up in your house like I would? Or are you just out, like, spending money on hookers left and right?
It would not be good.
No.
I can say that much. I would just be out chasing everything that walks.
Mm-hmm. See, I feel like I'd say that I'd be out, like, at the bar or whatever, chasing whatever, or, but I feel more that, I'd spend most of my time at home. I'd be watching a lot of TV. And I'd be paying a high class escort, once every week to come visit me.
Yeah. Okay.
Cause it's just easier, just easier with a large butt.
I had a pretty eventful early to mid 20s. So I would just imagine, I would think that it would be the same. Mm-hmm. It probably wouldn't be, but I would think that it would be. If that makes sense.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
No, I got you.
I would just imagine that it would be identical.
God damn, Ray. With your cocaine fueled parties and hookers everywhere. Like the Wolf of Wall Street. Ray, what color is your
those
hair?
were the
I can't
days.
tell. Sometimes I think it's blonde and sometimes I think it's brown.
You know, it's funny. So it's brown. My beard is kind of interesting because it's got, like, when the sun hits it, it turns reddish.
Really?
There's a lot of red in it. Yeah,
See,
it's interesting.
Ray, I'm drinking rum tonight and I don't normally drink rum and like I'm feeling very complimentary. So I just wanted to say, Ray, I think you're a good looking guy, Ray. And,
thanks.
Yeah. Like if I was single and, you know, wanted to experiment, like you'd be the type of guy I'd do that with. Unfortunately.
Nice. Yeah, you can find me on Tinder.
Unfortunately, Grindr ruined me from experimenting with guys. So
It's changed your whole perspective on life and your sexuality.
Yeah. All right. You know what? Because we have a thing we have to do here because of what you asked last week. So let's do Dick of the Week first, and then we'll go into voicemails and our emails. Okay.
Okay.
All right. 'Cause Dick of the Week is gonna go quick this week. There we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is now time to introduce this week's finalists for Dick of the Week. And here is our first nominee.
All right. So, I think we both have the same nominee, but for different reasons. So I'll let you go first.
Svensson.
Yeah.
Come on, man. Like, you got a target on your back, man. You were the honorary Dick of the Week for how long? Like, at least like 5 weeks or something like that. And then you got yourself out of the doghouse, but you're back in there. You came by the stream. Was that Friday or Saturday night when I was on? Popped in the stream, said, hey. I said, hey. And they said, oh, you're busy. I'll come back later.
What?
Well, yeah,
what the fuck did he want?
So I don't know. He said, talk to you later. And he said he'd come back later. So one, you never came back. And two, the whole point of me streaming is so I can talk to people. You can stick around and we can chat. Like, I was playing with friends, but I'm streaming for a reason. I can mute them. I talk to the stream. So anyway, you're Dick of the Week.
Ray, I was going to come by your stream. I saw you advertise that, but then I think it was late and I was almost in bed. So I didn't, and I'm sorry.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine. I got raided. It was a hell of people showed up.
Hey, this weekend, we should try streaming this weekend. When I was editing last week, I was playing Diablo 3, so maybe we should try streaming this weekend. I know I say that all the time, but I actually want to this week. All right.
Yeah, we can do it.
My nomination for Dick of the Week this week, and this may come as a surprise, Ray, but it is also Svensson. I'll tell you why.
Whoa, what?
Yeah. No, yeah. And it's not because he thought I didn't have time for him, okay, but it's for a completely different reason. Svensson, I'm nominating you for Dick of the Week because... Where's my Dick of the Week, Svensson? Where is it? This is what?
I thought I saw on Twitter he was going to do it.
Yeah. You tweeted you were going to do it. This is like 2 or 3 weeks in a row now. We don't have a Dick of the Week for Svensson. Svensson, let me tell you something, Svensson, okay? The only reason this segment exists, the only reason we do Dick of the Week every single week is because of you, Svensson, because you give us the content to do Dick of the Week with. This wasn't even a thing. This was just you sending us emails about people you don't like and the shitty things they do. And Huel and I read them and it was funny. And then it became a thing. It became something that people look forward to. It became something that I look forward to, Svensson. I enjoy the Dick of the Week because I enjoy talking about the stupid people in our lives. And you have not given us a nomination for Dick of the Week in at least 2 weeks, probably 3. And you should be ashamed of yourself for it because we went out of our way to create this segment for you, a showcase for Svensson at DanceDJ2K, your showcase, your spot to be on the show because your job doesn't allow you to get on here live with us and you have not delivered. And it's disappointing and it's frustrating. And frankly, Svensson, you're breaking my heart. My heart's broken in half, in 2. I'm giving half of it to Ray to keep forever, okay? Because you haven't given us a Dick of the Week. So you're my Dick of the Week this week, Svensson.
And I've been vigorously nodding my head in agreement this entire time.
Thank you. Thank you. You got anybody else you want to nominate?
No, I mean, I think that pretty much sums it up.
You know, that was fun. I think you should just come up with the topic and let me rant about it and see what I can do.
We love you, Svensson, but you gotta submit a Dick of the Week. They're just gold.
No more of this. We love you, Svensson. Okay, dude's got to deliver. All right, we give him.
Yeah, we could
free entertainment regularly, reliably, every single week, he gets a free show from us to keep him smiling and happy for the rest of the week. And what do we get out of it, Ray? What do we get?
I don't know, but I'm
Stress.
pouring my heart out.
Yeah.
I'm pouring my heart out for nothing? For no Dick of the Week submission?
Yeah.
What do I even show up?
Ray,
Why do I even show up? Why do I even get out of bed in the morning?
He's pouring half of my heart out because he now owns half of my heart because I literally ripped it out of my chest in half and gave it to him. And McDonald's sucks. Dick of the Week is McDonald's.
A heel turn.
After
Is
much
that used properly?
deliberation, the incredibly handsome expert
That was a
judges
swerve.
have come to the consensus that this week's Dick of the Week award goes to
Svensson.
Svensson.
Yeah. Like right now, Svensson, I like Silvio better than I like you.
Oh, burn. That was like a Trogdor the Burninator level burn.
All right. All right. Ray, last week, you asked for a little bit of help because you want to get the message out to Rich Dickman that you want to stay on. Like, I assume you enjoy doing this with me every week.
Yes, I'm having the time of my life.
Okay. Just like that meme that you post.
Yes.
All right. So we asked.
I can't get enough of. I'm overly proud of it.
We asked for some emails or voicemails, whatever, to come show your support for Ray so we could, let Rich Dickman know that Ray should stick around. And I got to tell you, we had, you got like 3 likes.
It's all crickets.
Yeah, it was crickets. I put a tweet out there that Ray needs your support. And each time I tweeted that, we got 3 likes. So let's call that 6 likes. You got 6 likes.
And 2 of them were me.
Yeah. No. 2 of them were you. Then we have,
this is the voicemail bumper. This is the bumper on your left. And this is the bumper on your right. This is a badass guitar riff.
I'm just going to play the bumpers.
Here's your voicemails. Sorry, that guitar riff's too cool not to play twice.
I just want Rich Dickman to hear your talent. Okay, so we did get a voicemail this week.
Oh, okay.
All right, here we go.
I propose that you keep Ray well beyond his 10-episode tryout. He is a keeper. That is all.
There you go, Ray. That's a real voicemail.
That was from my wife.
Oh. Thank you, mysterious
just
stranger,
kidding, of course.
for your voicemail. Please identify yourself next time. But thank you. So, Ray, you do have a voicemail in support. And if we go back to last week, we have this one.
Thank you, Rem.
Yeah, so I assume Randy wants to keep you on as well. All right.
Oh,
we also got an email. Do you have to play the email bumper? We don't have an email bumper. No email bumper. Okay. So we did get an email. We had 2 of them. The first one is from Hannah Hatija, haruna.hatija01@gmail.com.
What the fuck?
Hello. Can we have an investment project partnership with you? Best regards, Mrs. Hatija. Okay, so that's your first email.
Did you pull that one out of the spam email folder?
Yeah, that came the other day. Yep. All right. Oh, this one sounds also kind of familiar. I haven't read this yet. So, all right, here we go. I need a sip here. I'm getting dry.
Got to wet the whistle.
Yes. Greetings, gallant gentlemen. It was brought to my attention last week that you were requesting feedback on Ray's short time on the podcast. Since I'm regularly assessing the performance of my talent, I filled out my performance review sheet as it pertains to Ray. Stamina has been known to tire quickly, never lasting more than 90 minutes in any given week. Creativity mostly lounges in the same sitting position. While not as boring as missionary, some versatility is highly recommended. Professionalism, never deterred by sessions with strong sense, fully unfazed by others farting, otherwise seems happy and eager to please, known to occasionally become too inebriated to perform adequately. Dialogue needs to complement the other talent more often. Not enough groaning. Heavy breathing is non-existent. At the very least, add some seductive whispering to the repertoire. Physique, A+ dad bod. Penis is almost too large. Has what it takes to play the man or woman, despite the massive tonsil tickler. Compatibility. Doesn't caress or fondle other talent with enough frequency or skill. Constantly forgets to cup the balls. I can only hope that this feedback helps. Keep up the good work. Yours truly, Mr. Porno Man. Welcome back, Mr. Porno Man.
Oh, no.
Hey, Ray, how does Mr. Porno Man know how big your penis is?
It's legendary.
How come you never talked about it before? Like, I talk about my legendary penis literally all the time.
I don't have to. Word of mouth travels faster than anything else.
Not if it's gagging. Oh, that's gross, Rem. What the fuck are you doing? You don't.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. All right. So, Mr. Porno Man, I don't know if he's in support of you or not.
It seems like he's not necessarily taking a side. He's just given some sort of performance review that's unbiased.
Okay. So what do you think? Do you think like you think he wants to hire you, or like I'm just confused here.
I know, me too. I'm not sure what's going on. Apparently there's a lot of things I need to work on, but there's some stuff that I really got going for me. I'm not quite sure which side of the fence he lands on, like, as far as supportive. I'm
confused here when he says you have what it takes to play the man or the woman. Like do you clean up well? Like you look good in a dress? Like I'm confused here. I don't know what that means.
That's a good question. It might have something to do with the Tinder aspect.
Okay.
I have no idea.
Not that you just take it up the ass like a pro. I mean,
that is definitely not the case.
No, that just goes too far.
Confirmed.
Yeah. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Let's go back to the 90s. Remember in the 90s?
Where's your
Oh, wait, here we go. No, shit, wrong one. Shit. Oh, I'm so bad at this. Stop it.
Welcome to the Rich Dickman Show. Oh.
That's the outro. There we go.
Slightly better than mediocre.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. That was you go back, it's funny. Oh. Here we are, how old are you, Ray? You're what, 35? 34. Okay. Like I'm 38 now. And so like we're at an age where we can remember how things were years ago. You go back to the 90s, when becoming gay, when being gay was still, what's the right word here? I don't want to say the wrong thing. There was
a stigma.
Yeah, there was a stigma, but it was slowly becoming destigmatized. Okay. So
yes.
Yeah. So there's still a stigma around it. So when somebody would make some, like a Seinfeld episode, I held another man's hand. Not there's anything wrong with that. That type of shit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And now, we're bringing, we're calling our children trans. So we've come very far in 25 years.
Well, that's what we kept for the gender reveal party for my unborn child. Oh, we kept saying like,
let him decide.
I kept saying, well, everyone's like, oh, do you know if it's a boy? Do you know if it's a girl? And I was like, well, yeah, we're having the gender reveal party, but we're still going to let it decide its own gender. I was like, it's 2019, guys, yeah. Which on the one hand is ridiculous. On the other hand, there's people that actually do that, which is even more ridiculous. Like, for real, like okay. So like the baby comes out with a penis. I tell it's a boy. I'm somehow like shooting it down some path that it's never going to recover from.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
You're encouraging its toxic masculinity.
Yeah. Like anyway. Yeah. That's fucking stupid. But I thought the joke was pretty funny.
LOL at anybody watching the Democratic debates yesterday or today. Am I right, Ray? Oh, God, I hate where we are as a society right now. Can we just all just like, we should be fucking living on the moon right now, or at least like doing moon tourism. But no, we have to have arguments about
meaningless stuff.
Yeah, meaningless stuff.
It's just meaningless.
Yeah,
it really is.
I identify as a dog, and you have to accept me. Like, we have to have arguments about that shit, rather than just like going to the moon or inventing like a fucking virtual reality world to live in, where we can be. I can actually be a horse in a virtual reality world. I could be a four-legged horse with a monster penis and attack people with it. With like a Minotaur. I could be a Minotaur. Do you think Minotaurs like have huge horse penises, Ray?
Sounds like you're describing myself.
Yeah.
This is really awkward.
So the answer is yes, right?
Yes. I am a Minotaur with a gigantic schlong.
Who invented the Minotaur? Like, where did that come from? Like, who?
Oh, that was probably the first person that discovered acid.
Right. Like who's sitting on the rock at the beach, like dropping acid and thinking, hey, what if like a fucking horse had like a fucking human torso on it, man? Shit. It would have arms and 4 fucking legs and like a big horse cock on it. Like, oh my God, dude, that would be so fucking cool. And then like who thought of that shit?
It was either that or some really shitty artist that couldn't fucking draw a guy riding a horse.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow, that's crazy. You saw that animal? Yeah, sure. Yeah, I saw that animal.
He's like,
I'm not a shitty artist.
He's carrying his painting to the garbage can. Like he's literally walking out the horse, walking out the house with it, putting it in the dump pile. And then some guy's walking by like, whoa, you thought of a dude and a horse being the same thing? And he's like, yeah, you want it? $50, and you can have it. I call it a Minotaur. I call it a Minotaur. And like, there you go. The legend's born.
Have you ever seen that? This is from the 90s, that Bud Light commercial, Budweiser, one of those, right? Where it's basically the guy, he's getting off the plane. He walks up to where all the people are standing there. This is before cell phones and all that stuff, right? But he's standing, you got all the guys standing there with the signs that say the person's name. So you know where your ride is. I don't know if you remember those guys. So the guy getting off the plane walks up and he's like looking at all the signs, right? Do you know this one?
Keep going.
Okay. So he looks at the signs and he looks at the one and he's like, yeah, I am Dr. Galakiewicz. And the guy holding the sign goes, you are the Dr. Galakowitz? Yeah. He's like, why, yes, I am. And next, scene, changes and he's like in the back of the limo drinking a bunch of Bud Light or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I love that. That's just so funny. You are the Dr. Galakowitz?
Yeah. And then Dr. Galakowitz is a woman getting off the plane looking for a ride and she has to get an Uber. Well, they didn't have Uber back then. She has to get a taxi.
Yeah. They didn't. Oh man.
Yeah.
Get a taxi. Oh.
That's funny.
Yeah. Good times.
Good times.
Hey guys, it's time for the Thinking with Your Dickman segment. Send in your questions and we'll give you some advice. For example, I was told that recording in a public restroom helps with sound quality, so here I am.
Hey, what are you doing in here?
Yeah, what are you doing in here?
Maybe we'll be able to give you better advice than what that homeless guy gave me.
All right, do you want to read this one?
Yeah, so John writes in.
Thanks for writing in, John, by the way.
Yeah, John, we appreciate it, John. 2 weeks in a row. What a stand-up guy.
Yeah.
My neighbor's kid recently started a fire in their house, which nearly burned to the ground. While authorities got involved, should I be worried about living next to this family? Background, child is about 11 years old, boy, one of 3 siblings. Overall seems like a steady family.
Wow, this seems pretty heavy for the Thinking with Your Dickman segment, John. I don't know.
Right? What a crazy guy.
Did you think this was human think tank? Like what the fuck? What is this? We don't do well with the heavy shit. But okay, we'll try. Should you be worried about living next to an arsonist? Well, yeah, absolutely you should. If the authorities didn't take this kid away, he recently started okay. All right, here's the thing. Ladies and gentlemen, when you need advice from professionals like Ray or myself, and you call the Dickman line 860-316-4776, or you send us an email richdickmanshow@gmail.com. We need details. It's very hard to go on a very sparsely detailed letter like this one. All right. So the neighbor's kid recently started a fire. I need to know what kind of fire it was. I need to know where it was started. Was it an accident? Did he do it on purpose? Like, was a kid like trying to roast s'mores in the living room, or did he hate his parents and try to kill them? I mean, there's a big difference there. Now, that being said, you should always
send us some police reports, please.
Yeah, please, anything, just to help us out here, because that we can tailor our advice to that. Because, again, we're professionals and our advice means something, and we want to give the best advice that we can. All right. Mm-hmm. Now, that being said, whenever a child starts a fire in a house, whether it's accidental or on purpose, you need to move. You need to get the hell away from those people, especially if the child isn't taken away in handcuffs. And here's why. Because if that child started a fire and the authorities got involved and nothing happened to the child, guess what? He's going to start a fire again. whether it's in his house or his backyard or in your basement, there will be another fire because kids at 11 years old love fire. I don't know if you knew that, Ray. All right. But they love fire. I was out with my son last weekend. We had a little fire in my backyard because they wanted to have a little fire and roast some s'mores. It had been raining all weekend, and thank God, because all the wood was wet, we had a little fire going. My son walked out with his science journal, and I said, "Hey, bud." He's like, "Hey, man." And I said, "What are you doing with your science journal?" He's like, "Oh, I'm going to burn it." And I said, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't need it anymore. I'm going to burn it." And I said, "Does mommy know you're burning your science journal?" He's like, "Nope, I'm just going to burn my science journal." So he started ripping out pages of his science journal and throwing them in the fire, which, the first couple was cute. But then when he's like started taking like whole pages and just like dumping them on there to watch the, when paper burns, it starts to raise with the smoke and then bring ash other places to burn other things down. Well, when that started happening, it's like, "Hey, bud, you know what? We're going to stop burning your fire journal now because I don't want to set the house on fire."
Yeah. It's like that action movie where the guy gets revenge and he burns down the house and there's the people like the enemies inside screaming.
Yeah.
And it zooms in on his face and you can see the flames reflecting in his eyeballs. Yeah. And that's your kid.
That's my kid.
You're like, hold on. Alarm bells going off in my head.
Yep. I love my son to death, right? And I would kill a man for him. However, his fascination with fire is beyond frightening to me.
I used to run around my place when I was a kid with a magnifying glass and just roast stuff. Our swing set, we had a wood swing set. Oh, it looked like it had like freckles. Just black spots all over from frying ants on it, bugs on it, just burning it. Like anything I could burn. When I was my son's age, like 10 or 11, whenever it was, my cousin and I lived in the same neighborhood as them. And so my cousin and I, we would hang out all the time, especially during the summer. We had nothing to do. And, my father at the time, he used to be a smoker. And my father, the strongest man I've ever met in my life, he quit cold turkey. Like he said, one day I'm not smoking anymore, and he quit smoking. Just like that. But, we had a pile of matches. You collect, back in the 80s, you would collect matchbooks from places you visited. And so we had like a bunch of matchbooks from restaurants or businesses, because matchbooks you gave out, they were like business cards. You gave out matchbooks instead. Yeah. Right. Yeah. So we had a bunch of those. So my cousin and I would take a bunch of matchbooks and go behind my shed and start setting shit on fire. Like we'd just start piling up ants or wood or whatever. We'd just set it on fire. We thought it was so cool. We were like, ha, 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 we're just setting things on fire. Oh, we're so cool. Somehow, Mama Rem, the smartest woman I've ever met in my life, she knew that we were playing with fire behind the shed. I think maybe because she smelled the smoke. I don't know, but we were 10 and 12 and thought we were smarter than everybody. So she brought us into the house and she gave me the talking to of my lifetime. And needless to say, I haven't played with matches since. And I couldn't see my cousin for a week. Good. I got grounded from my buddy, my cousin, my best friend. I couldn't see him for a week. It sucked. And then she threw all the matches away. The collection of matches. See, that's interesting because I always feel like you should almost let your kids learn, like through trial and error to an extent. Yeah. Obviously, I mean, okay, so like Stella, she always jumps off stuff. Her shins are always bruised. Like she runs across the couch, and I'm like, "Damn it, get off the couch!" Right, all the time. Now she's always bruised, and I'm like, "Well, that's your own doing." Like you jumped off the couch, and you landed on whatever it is. Like I'm not going to feel bad for you. On the other hand, like I'm not going to be like, "Oh, you want to up the ante? And here's this gigantic steak knife, and let me put you on top of the kitchen, like sink, and then see if you can jump from there." Like, no, we're not crazy. But on the other hand, like for example, like my dad, right? When I was a little kid, I don't know, 3 or 5 or whatever it is, right? He's like, "Hey, don't touch the fireplace. Don't touch it. It's hot. There's a fire in there." And I'm like, "No, what about this area?
Fuck you, old man. I mean? I'm going to touch this shit."
Yeah. And so like a couple times in a row, he's like, "Don't stop." He's like, "Don't touch it." And I keep going back over there. Right. And I'm thinking like, I'm not touching the part with the fire. Like I'm touching like the side of it. Right. Or whatever it is. And of course I went over there, and at some point he's like, I'm not gonna, like, he's got to learn. So I touch it, I get burned, and I'm like, whoa, that was fucking hot. Yeah. And I'm like holding my hand and try to, play it off like nothing happened. But yeah, it's like, well, did I ever do it again? Hell no. Why? Because I learned. Yeah. But, and it's a controlled environment. But anyway, like, it's one of those things like, I'm not saying your mom should let you like burn down a small building.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, to her credit, lesson. She didn't want us to burn down the shed. So
yeah, but on the other hand, like, I don't know. It's kind of one of those. It's interesting. Like, I don't know. I think parenting is really interesting. No one's ever perfect, but it's so fascinating. Oh, it's so fascinating to me.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's so. Long story short,
we don't get into parenting.
Move. Get the hell out of there.
Yeah, get the fuck out of there
really quick.
Your place is going to get burned down.
Let's see if we can, let's knock this one out quick. Cause people send us these questions. All right. And, we owe it to them. We owe it to them to answer these. So
this is a bumper for the Dick Tips segment.
Because Ray wanted an excuse to make his voice sound cool and talk about himself in the third person.
Where did you get the guitar riffs?
They're free online. I can show you the site. But yeah.
All right, that's cool.
It was free. Sorry. I made them myself.
Yeah, you got the
expert
guitarist.
Got your
guitar out and you made it. All right, perfect. Awesome. Hey Matt, if you're listening, teach us how to make guitar riffs. All right.
Yeah.
All right, so Steven wrote in and he wants to know how to ask for a raise. Real quick, Steven, I'll tell you how I ask for a raise. Rem Dickman Promotion Watch 2019. I am now 0 for 2, and I won't be quitting the podcast because I did not get that job. All right. I'm waiting on one more.
Yes. Oh man.
I'm waiting on one more. And this is how I know how to ask for a raise. When the offer comes to me and they say, "Hey, Rem Dickman, we want to offer you this position." And I'll say, "Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you considering me for this position and offering it to me. I would love to accept it. Would you be willing to consider offering me the max raise that I am eligible for, which is 10%? And if you can't, I will have to politely decline." That's it.
That's it?
Yeah, I'm getting drunk, so I don't actually know how to ask for a raise. I've never had to do it before, except just what I'm expecting when this comes. You got anything?
Yeah, so I've heard the best way to get a raise is to change companies, because like company A, they've already got their budget set, right?
Yeah.
Company B over there that you're not working for, they've got their budget set. You go over to company B and you're like, oh, hey, obviously making numbers easy here. Company A, $100,000 a year. Company B, $125,000 a year. You're like, well, that's their budget.
Is that what you make, Ray?
No.
Oh.
Maybe. No. Per hour? No.
Poor Ray. I just made him so uncomfortable. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. I'll tell you what I make.
Like you live in California. Like you literally have to make that much money to buy groceries every week, right?
No, so we interviewed a guy on Tuesday.
Yeah.
We interviewed this guy and he goes, I make $120K right now, working in the Bay. He's like, but we're outside of the Bay. We're like a couple hours outside of the Bay. So he's like, so I'm realistic. Like I'm not asking for 120 outside of the Bay, but that, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I think the position we had it posted on Indeed is like 85 to 95K or something like that a year. So it's one of those like, you know what I'm saying? Like that's a significant drop annually.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that's fine. Like I understand. Like he's all on board for that kind of a thing. So yeah, dude,
wow.
Fucking, San Francisco's bonkers.
Salaries and location in the country is so fascinating to me and frustrating at the same time. It's like what I make now here in Connecticut. It's like, goddamn, as well as I'm doing, I'm still barely making it. I'm finally at a point where I have a few bucks a month to save. Right. But if I took this salary and I went down south, where the property's cheaper and the gas is cheaper and the taxes are cheaper and the cost of living is cheaper, God, I'd be living like a king. My wife wouldn't have to work, right? They should stay home with the kids all day.
It's crazy, and maybe this could segue into one of those, my don't take financial advice from someone. But my wife and I have been doing the $100 a week food budget, among other things. But we've had actually budgeting. You know how hard it is to feed like 2 adults and 2 kids on $100 a week?
And you're about to have a third.
Yeah. Now, well, obviously the budget's going to change by we'll add $5 a month more. Okay. My wife can breastfeed. It's free.
Nice.
Boom. But anyway, no, it's like, that's what's crazy is like, if you really budget, you can do whatever. I don't know. It's weird. You do whatever you want with your money. I've known people that said, I'm living paycheck to paycheck because I'm going to enjoy the money. Like what good does it do me in the bank? And I'm like, that makes sense. And then there's other people. No, it makes sense. I mean, but on the other hand, there's the people say, save your money now, grow your money now, so you have it later. Makes sense as well. I mean, it's just whatever you want to do with it, or just do whatever the fuck you want to do with it. Somewhere in the middle of that.
So let me give you
your money.
Some REM financial advice. Okay. I get what you're saying. It's your money. Do what you want. Be happy. I get that part, right? Because it's cool. It's nice to say. It's fun to say. It's nice to dream, but doing whatever you want.
I'm just saying, like, I'm not going to judge you. If you want to spend it on hookers and blow, like, that's your prerogative. You can spend on hookers and blow, but don't come to me and be like, oh, I'm broke. I spent $2,000 this month on hookers and blow.
Don't come to me, and I still will judge. All right. Because you need to be planning, because guess what? When you're 65, right, and you're forced to retire from that dead end job that you have, okay, and you then realize you do not have any savings or any money to continue your life beyond 65, well, that's on you. All right. Ray, I don't spend any money on anything anymore. Like, I just give it all to the stuff we have to, like the mortgage and the things for the kids, and the rest goes in the bank, because I am, Ray, Jesus Christ, like I'm man, this is tough for me to talk about.
We're getting old.
That's exactly it. I'm getting old. Like my kids.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying is you should do that. That's my opinion. You should do that. But if you don't come crying later and be like, oh, I ran out of money. Yeah. That's all I'm saying. Like, you do what you want, but you also live with the consequences.
My kids need to go to college. All right. And unfortunately, because of my demographics, my loans will not be forgiven should they take them out. They will have to pay for that bullshit. Yeah. Okay. So it's going to be, we're heading to a weird period in our history. Like, I used to talk about this on Torn Think Tank. We've entered a weird period in our history where we have too much information that we don't know how to process. Well, we're about to enter another weird period where, we just don't know how to survive anymore. Right. Because we're going to be taxed to death should the Democrats win. All right.
Yes.
And this is not me being a Trump supporter. This is me being real. All these programs, the loan payments and free health care and bringing immigrants in from all over the world and all this other bullshit, right? That money comes from somewhere. And guess where it comes from? Your taxes. And guess what, everybody? Taxation is theft. Plain and simple. All right. We should not be taxed for owning things, but yet we are, and we blissfully go on in ignorance about it. My income that I work 40 to 60 hours a week for should not be taxed. God damn, are you kidding me? That's my money. I earned it. This house that I bought with my money, why do I have to pay my town government and state government to live here when I own this property? My car, same thing. I bought that car with my money. Government didn't help me at all. Why am I paying taxes to the town I live in to have that car? Why am I paying taxes to help support anybody that isn't me? I know that makes me sound like an asshole, and I'm sorry, but I work too hard for my money to have to just give it away and just, here you go, just take it from me. I don't want it anymore. No, that's not me. That's mine. It's my money, and I want to do with it as I please. Whether it's blow it on hookers and blow, or squirrel it away so my kids can go to college and have a chance at a future, right? Because, the robots and AI, my kids won't be able to get jobs at McDonald's because here in Connecticut, it's going to be $15 an hour to work at McDonald's, and they're not going to be hiring anybody to work at McDonald's $15 an hour, Ray. It's going to be, you go to that little automated kiosk and you put your finger on the screen and you swipe up and down to pick out your cheeseburger or your seriously disappointing international burger, and boop, and done. And then the 3 people who are left working there, cook it up in the back and give it to you.
Dude, all they're going to have to do is just put their palm on the screen, and it's going to read their mood and
tell them what they
need. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boop, boop, boop.
You'd be like, I would like a quarter pounder with bacon and cheese, please. And the computer would say, no, I think today you feel like a Big Mac, and a side salad. and a Pepsi.
And a McRib.
Or a Coke. Yeah,
because you're having a really shitty day.
Yeah.
You're going to have 3 burgers.
Yeah. And then you'd be like, I don't want 3 burgers. I just want the quarter pounder. And McDonald's would be like, I'm sorry. That'll be $25.
Charge your card.
Yeah. You charge your card. $25. Your 3 burgers. Mm. Hey, you know what's awesome, Ray?
Yeah.
Have you seen the Coca-Cola freestyle machines?
No. What are those?
Those are it's the soda machine you go to, and then you can choose any type of Coca-Cola product or fruit Coca-Cola product that you want and mix.
Yeah.
And then you can put different types in. So, like they have one, I first saw it at the movie theater. Then they have them at Five Guys everywhere. And I used to watch Fit, like make his own drink. And he would put like 7 different types of cola into his.
What the fuck?
I know. That's too much for me. I can't handle that. But what I like to do, Ray, is I go into the freestyle machine and I hit the fruit section, right? Cause I like a fruity soda.
Okay.
And then they have orange Sprite. I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but they have orange Sprite. And I do half a cup of orange Sprite. And then I go back and I hit strawberry and I find strawberry Sprite. And I do the other half of the cup in strawberry Sprite. I have an orange strawberry Sprite drink for my movie.
See, that's fine. That's a good use of it.
Yeah.
Because now you don't have to do the suicide, the traditional, like, little bit of every single one of them on the,
It's gross.
yeah,
it's just gross.
root beer's one, Coke's the other one, Diet Coke's the next one, whatever, right? Like, no, that's not good. No, not, that's just disgusting. So when you go to those things, I usually just do like the Sprite 7-Up, whatever it is, with like cherry. Although I pretty much never drink soda.
Yeah,
like,
me either. Soda's so bad for you. Like I quit drinking soda and I lost 10 pounds in 2 weeks. So every once in a while, I'll treat myself. And if I can find the Mexican sodas, have you seen those? The glass bottles with the Mexican sugar? Yeah. Like I'll splurge in those, like the Mexican Fanta.
The Jarritos?
No, it's like Coca-Cola made in Mexico with real sugar instead of instead of the bullshit they use here.
Have you had Jarritos?
No, what is it?
No.
Wait, maybe I have.
Jarritos.
I think I've had that. Yeah, because at the Mexican food truck.
It's Jarritos, but it's Jarritos. Yeah, those are good.
All right, Ray, I don't want to take this. I'm realizing this now, and you've been excited about this all week. So let me do this thing.
Okay.
And why don't you tell me about American Renegades in these last few minutes of the show? Like, I don't even know what that is.
We can do whatever. So I was checking out this. What is it? It's on Amazon. Okay. So I get really drunk or something like that, maybe. And I turn on the TV and I'm like, let me just watch something that I don't have to actually watch, right? But it turns out this is the greatest movie you're ever going to see. Because, first of all, Americana.
Yeah.
Second of all, World War II.
Guns, girls, and liquor in World War II.
Yeah. Oh, and then, but it's modern.
Oh.
And then, overacting. Oh my God, dude, it's the best. Okay, so it starts out, apparently the Germans in World War II they take a bunch of gold, all their treasures, right? Put it in this little city in wherever it doesn't even matter where it's at, like Belgium, right? It's in the spot right above or right below a dam. They put all the gold in this bank. They blow the dam. The place floods, turns into a lake. People apparently forgot about the whole city, right? So these guys, so this is where it gets good. The guys, they're Navy SEALs or something like that, right? So they're doing missions. It's like, I don't know, Bosnia. I have no idea where the fuck this is
This
at.
is a terrible movie review, Ray.
No.
Gotta take
so
notes.
check this out. So they're like, they run into this chick and she's like, I can get you all the gold, right? And they're like, all right, we'll do it. So it turns into literally everyone is just overacting. Like all the guys are like, yeah, I'm going to fight everybody, right? Like, I love you, buddy, and stuff like that. And then, for example, the action is so out of control, unrealistic, you can't stop watching it. So like, they're like, hey, we need to just find a helicopter pilot to extract this. So it just flips scenes. And there's this guy, one of the Marines or whatever, he's in the back of this tiny ass little helicopter with these 2 random dudes and they're flying around. And they're like, yeah, it's over here by the lake. And then they're like, look out. and this like MiG jet or whatever like flies by, does a buzz by, and then it starts shooting missiles at him, and they're dodging missiles, and you're like, what the fuck?
What's happening?
He's shooting like a missile every 10 seconds, and then it shows the helicopter hover up from behind these trees, and with his miniguns track down and just shoot the jet out of the air. I'm like, this is too good to be true. Like, this movie's amazing. Anyway, it's basically that the entire movie, and you can't go wrong. Like, none of it's realistic, and the whole time you're transfixed by the movie. It's fucking amazing. If you have a couple hours and you just want to get your mind blown by a terribly awesome movie, you have to watch American Renegades. Oh my God.
So
it was a treat.
This is a great time to plug the Patreon. If you go to Rich Dickman, patreon.com/Rich Dickman show, or Rich Dickman. I don't remember. Patreon.com/Rich Dickman. Rich Dickman. If you start to unlock some of our rewards, Ray and I will watch American Renegades and record ourselves watching American Renegades while we're drinking, or Ray's doing lines of Coke or something, whatever it is. Yeah, patreon.com/Rich Dickman. And let's unlock those rewards, and we'll do some bonus content for you. There we go. How's that, Ray? That sounds good.
Yeah. I just hope that my enthusiasm sold you guys on it. Dude, it was so fun to watch that movie. Oh my God, it was amazing.
I love watching shit blow up. Like, I sat through Transformers last night just because I love watching robots fuck each other. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm. You know, I'll watch a bad movie. I don't mind.
Oh yeah. It's one of those terribly bad. It's not good. The dialogue's shit. Yeah. Like absolute garbage. But as you're watching it, you're like, I can't stop watching. The whole time it's like, how long did you know? Since the first day.
Yeah.
Like
they're
okay.
saying that the helicopter's shooting at them. They're like, we're being shot at. Like, no shit.
Oh, they were like underwater doing a bunch of shit where they're trying to get the gold. Like, what did they say? It was like 23 tons of gold or something like that, right? 46 tons of gold, whatever it is. Yeah. They're like, we can get it out in one. They figured out they were like, we're not going to be able to do it. Oh man, we're going to have to go home. And then they start doing Jaeger bombs, basically. Or like what Irish car bombs, whatever you want to call it, where you take the shot and you put it in the beer. Yeah. And that was where they were like, oh, I figured out how we can make it work. Wow. I'm like, yes, this is fucking awesome. And this how much better does it get?
This isn't like a Cinemax movie where there's like needless sex scenes or like unwarranted nudity.
No.
All over it.
No.
Like it's like no Cynthia Rothrock or like Julie Strain or nobody in it.
No. They have some lady with a pretty terrible foreign accent. That's about it. Yeah.
Why would I say Cynthia Rothrock? She never got naked. She was a martial artist.
I don't know who that is.
Do you know who Julie Strain is?
Nope.
Shannon Worry?
Nope.
Shannon Tweed?
0 for 4.
Oh man.
Who are these people?
These are softcore actresses for the Skinemax movies.
It's probably a good thing your mom doesn't listen to this anymore.
Yeah. My dad.
She'd be like, how does he know the names of these people?
I'll tell you how. My dad got himself a black box for the cable back when I was a kid. So we had access to all of the channels all the time. And so when old Mama and Papa Rem went to bed, old Rem would sit in the living room and put on Cinemax or Showtime and watch these movies.
Mm-hmm.
Late at night.
So that's why you got that Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah, that's exactly why. Yep.
It all comes full circle.
Yeah, you know, every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end. Yeah, that's right.
You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here.
Right up
quoting semisonic lyrics.
Damn, you're so good at this. Like if it was my choice, Ray, you'd be hired beyond next 2 episodes. All right. That's amazing that you just pulled that right out of your asshole. So good for you. Good for you. Ray, you got to bring the Tinder shit back next week because Hot Drummer News Babe said she loves it.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, I hadn't heard anything. I thought I was having a really good time.
Let me tell you something.
It really was just one weekend.
We don't hear anything. Our audience is a passive audience. They listen to the show and they move on. All right. They don't interact with us. And okay, I'm used to it now. All right. But every once in a while, Hot Drummer News Babe would pop in and be like, I thought that shit was hilarious. I'm like, boom, you got it, girl.
Oh, that's nice. And that's good coming from a female because that's one of those things that I'm pretending to be a female. Like I don't know. I was kind of curious how a female would think about that. So that's good to know.
Maybe we should get a female co-host and then I can, I'll stop there. All right.
I have somebody in mind.
No. Nope. I've ruined the show with female co-hosts before.
Hold hold on. She has some experience on the podcast. It's hard to find the podcast on the internet anymore.
Don't
hold
you
on.
dare.
Let me see if I can.
You motherfucker. Thank you for listening to the show,
Twitter
everybody.
right now.
You can find the show online, richdickman.com, all your podcast apps. Go to amazon.com, search Rich Dickman. Get yourself a t-shirt of your choosing. Let's see here. We got, you want to call the Dickman line, 860-316-4776, while Ray is still looking for that person. Stupid Ray.
Yep, I'm checking right now. Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Follow my mom on Twitter at Rem_Mama. You can follow Ryan, producer Ryan on Twitter at RyanTRDS. I'm going to go see him this weekend. We're going to go see wrestling. Him, Chris O.C., and producerette Sam. We're going to go see wrestling. And then Ryan and Sam and I are going to go to Hot Pot in Queens. So that'll be fun. I'll tell you all about it next week. Programming note for next week. We may be recording super early in the week, or we may be recording super late in the week. If we record early in the week, you'll have the show at the normal time. If we record late in the week, you may have the show. It may be delayed by just a few hours. All right. Because, if we do it Friday night, I'll edit on Saturday. You'll have it Saturday night instead of early Saturday morning. If we record on Tuesday, you'll have it at the normal time. So I'm going on vacation, Ray. I'm going, looks like we're going to Cape Cod. Me and the kids and the wife. We're going to go up to Cape Cod. You ever heard of Cape Cod?
Has anyone ever not heard of it?
It
seems like
I don't know. It's like the furthest point east away from you that you could get, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting. Here in Sacramento, they have I'll think of it later. There's a city in, I think it's Maryland, that's on the road signs over here. So it says 100 miles to Reno, but it says whatever that city is, it's like Ocean City or something like that. I think it's Maryland.
Oh, really?
It says 3,400 and whatever miles. Yeah. Cause apparently the guy that made the signs, he grew up in wherever that was. So he put it on the signs over here because the Interstate 80 goes from here in Sacramento and
all right,
further to the coast, all the way to the other coast. That's a little interesting. Yeah. Nice. I could drive to 80 all the way there. Boom.
Follow the show on Twitter at Rich Dickman Show, or send us an email, richdickmanshow@gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter. I am at Remgar, REMGHAR. Join our Discord, bit.do/TRDS1. Help build the Discord community, and patreon.com/Rich Dickman. Ray, how do we find you, and how do we find out about your streams that Svensson thinks you're too busy for him on?
Yeah. So it's at Jules Winfeld on Twitter. I do twitch.tv/Jules Winfeld when I'm streaming, which again is not super frequent, but I'll get on there every once in a while, usually on the weekends. So if I'm on, definitely stop by and say hi. And if you want to chat, I am absolutely there for that.
And when Ray starts working on the website a little bit more, I'll start streaming with Ray. So some incentive for Ray to get going. That'll be fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. Thank you again for listening. One more time for Allan and Dylan and Matt and Dave and the whole community of Not Female Consumption Podcast. Boners to you all. Allan, you will be missed. We love you. Good night.
See you. Actually, she said she'll join the podcast.
Oh, shut the fuck. You did not. You didn't do that, did you?
What?
Ray, I'll fucking strangle you. I'll strangle the shit out of you, Ray. I will come to California. I will go to a payphone and I will pull out the phone book in the payphone and I will find all the Winfelds. I will tear that page out of the phone book. I will leave the phone booth and I will call from a different phone all of the Winfelds and be like, I'm looking for Jules. I'm looking for Jules Winfeld. And no, just go right down the list till I find you at 112 Stationary Park Road, Ocean City, California. And boom, I will fucking strangle you.
Well, thanks for doxing me. That's one. Two, the nearest phone booth is in Santa Cruz. So you still got quite a number of miles to walk with that phone booth.
It's in a museum, right?
Or a phone book, I guess. No, there's one on the Santa Cruz boardwalk.
Oh, shit.
There's one right there. I took a picture with my kids last year when we were there for cheer. Yeah.
Remember in movies, when you go to a new town and you pull out the phone book and the payphone, and then you ripped out the page you needed?
Yeah. Do you remember that movie? What was it? It was the one with, fuck, I can't think of anybody's name. It's called Phone Booth, I think.
Oh, really?
I think it's called Phone Booth.
Oh, where the guy couldn't leave and get assassinated or some stuff?
Yeah, yeah.
I never saw it,
and it
but
was,
I remember it.
What's the guy?
Colin Farrell.
Kiefer Sutherland?
Oh, he was in it too?
He was the sniper.
Okay.
Or his voice was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was Colin Farrell was the guy in the phone booth. Yep. It's like that movie does not even come anywhere near to existing today. Like,
yeah, right. It's so funny.
Like if somebody watched that today, like if my kids watched that today, they'd be like, "What is that?"
Yeah, like I see a phone, like an old, like the phone has been removed, but you can tell it was a phone booth or a payphone bank or whatever it was. And I tried to explain to my kids what it was. And they're like, "Dad, what the fuck are you talking about? Shut the fuck up. Nobody fucking cares about your bullshit."
Yeah. You're just talking crazy, Dad.
Stupid asshole.
What is this?
Shut up. Fucking leave me alone. I'm fucking playing video games, you dick. Mario died because of you.
Pokemon.
You son of a bitch. Shut up, Dad. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Yeah. All right. That's it.
And then and they're like, "Dad, you're grounded."
Yeah.